Hey, 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 I'm back. Okay, so if you've seen the last video, I haven't even thought of a title of it yet because this I literally just recorded it, but it's to do with boundaries. So again, I will put a link to that, or you might see a little box somewhere here or over here to it. So definitely check that out. And if it's not for you, then pass on. But hello, my source insiders. Thank you again for checking in, listening, and please like, share, subscribe. I know you guys are doing a lot of that, and for that reason, I am very grateful. To have as many subscribers as I do not take that lightly. And you know, some of you might think, oh, it's not that many. No, trust me, it's a lot. Out of all the people in the world who could make a different decision, the fact that I think over 400 of you have decided that you will connect in with my channel is huge to me. It's big, and I take that very seriously, and I vow to make as much content as possible to fulfill your needs. Do comment below if there's anything that you want me to speak on or to post about that you just need some more insight on. Um, but today we're going to talk about transmutation of energy. So transmuting energy. I would have mentioned this in again the boundaries video, but I've also done another video about that where I talk about splitting the paper up into two halves and writing a list. Again, I will put that on the screen or in below in the links. Splitting your paper into two halves. One side are all the good qualities of your twin flame, and the other half is all the challenging qualities of your twin flame. And I tell you what to do with that. Now, just as a reminder, what I'm saying to you is that the challenging side, that's the side that you need to transmute. There is a reason that you are in a twin flame. I don't want to say situation because it sounds like it's just momentary, and it's not. It's the other part of you. So it's not that, you know, you can feel them, you can sense them, you dream of them, you are connected to them in a way that you can't even explain until you start digging more and more into the experience. Please, 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 please make sure that you do not mistake a twin flame relationship for a karmic relationship. Karmic, that has a lesson. It does have an important, it's about you learning a lesson, which we're here to do regardless. But I would rather you learn the lessons that you need to learn from your twin flame relationship, which although doesn't feel positive because of maybe the separation, it is positive. It will have a positive outcome. It is not there to break you down or hurt you. But a karmic relationship, that has high potential of being abusive. So I need you to check in with your feelings and understand what it is that you're in. And if it is karmic, run for the hills. Okay, you know the feeling, especially if it feels familiar. If it feels familiar to something that you've gone through before that also had an abusive outcome, that's not a twin flame relationship at all. Twin flame relationships, you become a different person in the best way. And I won't go into any more detail than that because there's certain things I don't want to say because karmics are out there twisting words and can be manipulative with certain things that are being said. So yeah, no, let's just say trust yourself, okay. Anyway, I've made some notes and excuse me, I'm beyond, I wouldn't say dehydrated, but I've got to have my morning warm lemon. So very, very good for digestion, which is something that, well, it's just important, but it's something that bugs me sometimes. So yeah, that morning warm lemon is very good on an empty stomach. Anyway, I've made some notes about transmuting energy. So So that I don't forget, because I just want to make sure I get to the point of this so that you know what you're doing. Again, make the list. 2 halves, positives, challenges. Okay, so let me just read this for you. Transmuting energy for twin flame union. Okay, so if you're in separation now, reunion is great, but union is what you're going for. That's the ultimate goal, because once you're in union, that's it. We're talking marriage, we're talking together forever, we're talking, and I mean a healthy marriage, not just 2 people flung together, rings on, calling themselves Mr. and Mrs. and really can't, just kind of going through the motions, happy one minute, not happy the next minute, and aren't mature enough to get through what it is that they've signed up for. I'm talking about 2 people who actually love each other, even when they're not liking each other too much. The full on in love with you is there. Like, there's nothing you want more than your other half. Okay. Okay. So union involves working on both personal and shared energies to create harmony and alignment. First one, self-awareness and inner work. So these are all the points of why you need to transmute your energy. Okay, this is what it does for you, and this is what you're going to be achieving when you work through the challenge side of the list. You start by deepening your self-awareness, understanding your emotions, your triggers, and your patterns. Mentioned this in the last video on boundaries. Engage in inner work such as meditation, journaling, therapy, to heal past wounds and release negative energies. Cultivate self-love and acceptance. The more you love and accept yourself, the more you can bring the union towards you. Okay. Number 2. Actually, let me just touch on that for a second. Okay, so the whole point of me saying that you need to transmute energy, some of the messages that I see are relatively negative. And I just have to let you know you're in the twin flame journey for a reason, and the reason is to work on you. Don't point fingers. There is accountability in this, something that you probably either been missing or maybe you've been practicing it, but what you don't realize is because the twin flame situation, especially if you're in separation, is so strong, it can feel like someone's literally ripped out half of you and just thrown it away. And that's not an exaggeration. It really can. You feel that it's them that needs to do whatever they need to do. And you're right, they do. That's why you have the challenge inside of the list. But because you are their other half, those things do not exist only in them. They exist in you too. You loved yourself enough to bring that twin flame relationship towards you, but not enough for you to be in immediate union. There are still things that you need to work on in this lifetime in order for union to come to you in this lifetime. And whilst you're working on those things, be praying that your other half, your twin, is also working on those things. One of the most beautiful things that I have discovered probably in the last year is the dreams that I have that tell me and confirm that my twin is working on bettering themselves. And it's a confirmation that you're just like, first of all, the dream's weird, but the message is as clear as day. You can't deny what's happening. And for that reason, I just send love, light, my support. And then I go back to focusing on me and what I need to do so that we're at the same place at the same time. Okay. And then I leave the rest up to God. All right. Number 2, balancing masculine and feminine energies. Recognizing and balancing your masculine and feminine energies within yourself. This balance is essential for a harmonious union. Embrace your receptive, intuitive feminine side as well as your active, assertive, masculine side. So whoever you are, if you're born as the masculine, you embrace the other side and assert one side, and born as the feminine, vice versa, in other words. So this covers both, okay? What I will say about this is something about that twin flame relationship where when I say you will not recognize yourself, I had already prayed about what I wanted before it came, and I had no idea what twin flame was until the breakup happened. And I was in so much pain that researching my pain led me straight to twin flame. It wasn't even like I had to do a deep dive and a dig. It was just there. And when I looked through almost like the symptoms, I couldn't deny not one single one of them. And then it led me onto this path. So it's been a blessing, and maybe even, I wouldn't say a curse, but a challenge, because that pain is, it's palpable. You know, like we know, okay? But in the relationship, I probably was the most submissive that I've ever been in my entire life. And it wasn't by choice. It just happened. And I loved it. And it wasn't like submissive in the sense of, honeymoon period. You're like that for a little while. And then it's like, okay, you don't get the reciprocity. So, or it just doesn't last long because it's just not you, or whatever the case may be. No, I was like that from the beginning to the end. And it came naturally. It felt good. I sat in it. I was in my soft place. And it's one of the things I probably miss the most, because it allowed me to be this boss during the day, running my, hustles. And I say hustles because I like to have more than one, thing going on. And be this nurturing but sort of tough mum. I like to have a balance between the two. And then there's this soft place where I want to serve. And it was just a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. Yeah. What can I say? So in that sense, it's like number 2, I think I've got that down pat because it happened naturally anyway. But again, it's still something that you want to think about. And just balance between the two. And when I say from the feminine point of view, it might be just self-care. And from the masculine point of view, it might also be allowing a little bit of vulnerability without the fear of judgment. Yeah, it could just be that. So we'll see, but you'll know what you need just, once you go through that. Number 3, clearing energy blockages. Okay. Identify and release any energy blockages within yourself. These blockages could be emotional, mental, or energetic barriers that hinder your connection. Practices such as energy healing, chakra balancing, or Reiki can help clear these blockages. I started doing Reiki naturally and found that I was actually pretty good at it. 1, it takes a belief in your own abilities, and 2, just that nurturing side comes out because you want to not only heal things within yourself, but maybe, especially if you're a mother, they might have an issue. When my daughter was going through GCSEs, I would do Reiki if she had like headaches and things like that, and also just meditation and that sort of thing. And it helped a lot, big time. And you could just see some of the stress and anxiety just fall away. And to have a teenager come back and say, oh, okay, let's do that again. It's like, okay, yeah, you're doing something right. But also practice those things for yourself. So one of the things I love to do is yoga. And just, I do hot yoga. Love it. It can feel like hell when you're going through the session. It's a 1-hour session, but by the time it finishes and you're like laid back and just sort of relaxed, it's like, oh, I think I can do that again. But then you come out of the session and you're like, yeah, you're done. And then, you know, once you get that bug for it, you want to keep going back, but it's not cheap. Yeah. And yeah, the last counterfeit I was with had the cheek to tell me to just put a mat on the floor and just do it in the house. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm never gonna go into that one. But yeah, when I have my priorities, and this is one of them, and if this clears energy blockages from, you know, my surroundings, and to be honest with you, that might have been one of the reasons I was told not to go, because um you know, a counterfeit, a karmic, they don't want you to clear energy blockages, because it then makes you more aware of what they're doing in your space and in your life. Once you become clear, the quicker you become clear, the quicker you grasp the lesson, the quicker then you're going to, you know, put a bolt on that door. And yeah, maybe even like a spiritual restraining order. So but for me it's just yeah, I dug my heels in with that one, and then it ended up not happening anyway because of finances. Again, not not really my doing, but um you know, in all fairness, yeah, it's not a cheap endeavor. It's not like you know, a £40 or £20 or whatever gym membership. It's some change. So if you're not like me and you're not that bothered about hot yoga, just do it in the house. You know, whatever you can do to clear those blockages, do it. Okay. Okay, so number 4, setting intentions and visualization. I set clear intentions for your twin flame union. Visualize the type of connection you desire and the qualities you want to embody. Use visualization techniques to imagine yourself and your twin flame surrounded by love, light, and harmony. Funny enough, I've never done this for my twin flame. That's food for thought, actually. I've never done this for my twin flame, but what I have done is I've done this for my future, my finances, just my elevation in terms of my success. And when I tell you, it was like lightning. The message, the prophecy, I won't share it, it's mine. But I literally imagined myself surrounded by light, and then being lifted up by light. And once that light had lifted me up as high as it could, I then started to imagine the things that I'm praying for happening in real time. And when I tell you, not too long after that, I got a prophecy that's very clear, and that prophecy has been repeated in different ways, different formats, over and over again. And it's not one that I can deny. It's not even one I'm questioning or that I doubt. I got the word of what it was I was supposed to do for the prophecy to come to pass, and things just fall into place. Amen. So yeah, I will be taking note of this one myself. It's funny, you write these things based on what you know and what you've read and what you've researched, but from a twin flame perspective, it's not one that I have actually taken part in. Or maybe I did at the beginning, I'm not sure. I think I did. Tell a lie, I did it for reunion. I didn't do it for union, I did it for reunion. That's why I know it. I did it for reunion, and the circumstances of my reunion literally played out in front of me. Like, can't deny. Played out. I'm talking to the point of like where you're standing, how you're sat, what time of the day it was. Like it literally played out in real time after. I think it was, and we're talking weeks. We're not talking months, years, or anything. We're talking weeks. It's very, very strong. So bear that in mind. Okay, and then now there are a few more. We're getting on to nearly 20 minutes, so I don't want to keep you guys stuck on here forever. I am planning to actually do something else. I might do a part 2. If you guys want a part 2 to this, then there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 other things that we can discuss in terms of transmuting energy. But just remember, work through the challenging side of the list, whatever you've put on there, whether it's lack of boundaries, resentment, anger, I don't know, it could be just non-communicative or has issue with communication, or it can be anything. You don't want to change the person. That's not what we're focusing on. We don't want to really change ourselves necessarily unless it's for the positive. But what we're trying to do is, if it's something challenging that's probably holding you back, it could be because those things are likely holding you back in the other areas of your life. So work on them. Work on them. Work on them. Try and be more patient, more accepting. Just try and, communicate more. Talk, just talk more. Work on your emotional intelligence. Whatever it takes, just work on them. Take your time. Don't rush through it. God's not stupid. You rush through it and you really haven't grasped grasped. I can never say that word. You haven't you haven't connected with what the lesson is. I got to work on that word. Grasped. Whatever. Anyway, whatever. So just work on it. And wishing you guys the best. Remember, like, share, subscribe this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I will see you in the next one in part 2. But send me a comment down below just to make sure. I'll probably do it anyway, but it's always good to see that you definitely want it. All right, thank you so much.